Karibuni sana kwenye Track and Field by Chico. Yes, this is the channel whereby we give you news, views, reviews, interviews, and also we give you some athletics, live athletics from track and whatnot. So the 2025 Tokyo World Championship Games Zimekalas has come to an end. And what better way to end the World Championship Games with a review, reviews of what went down. We saw athletes being pushed like the 3,000 meters with this guy called Godi Bemesh, falling down and eventually coming to win gold medal. We saw athletes from Kenya, some of them not making it to the finals, or rather not making it to the medal positions. 800 meters, we have a new winner by the name Lilian Odira, defeating the Olympic champion from Britain, Hogg. And also people like Noah Lyles, talking about Seville, and then the finals, you saw all what happened. The relays, of course, the relays, the 4x1, the 4x4, the mishaps, a lot has happened. Stay tuned. We're going to review all these and much more. Before we begin our introduction. Yeah, so welcome back to Track and Field by Chico. And before we begin the video, yes, I am a Kenyan, and of course, nimevaa hapo vest ya Kenya. This is one of the vests. This vest has a national record of 122, the national record for the 4x2 that was set in Bahamas. Mimi na the team up before, Walter Mwenga, Calvin Kanata, and Tony Chirichir, we set the national record. And at that time, we were the only African country in the finals of the 4x2. That was in Bahamas. That was way back in 2014, still representing. Lazima to represent Kenya and the flag up before. Just the other day, we had the World Championship Games. And yeah, you saw what happened. A lot happened. For the Kenya team, it started off on a bad note, definitely. The 4x4, we also, the 4x4 mixed relays. Earlier in the year, they went to China, and of course, they won, or rather, they got a bronze medal. The Americans won, then the Australians, then the Kenyans won a bronze medal. And what happened in Japan is that the Kenyan athletes stepped on the inner lane. Yes, the Kenyan member was in lane 5. Apparently, he was stepping on the inner lane of the other athletes' lane. And according to the IAAF rules and regulations, they say that lane infringements rules permits a one-off infringement. That's by stepping on or over in an inner line or curb in lane races or non-lane races, with disqualification only occurring for repeated infringements in the same event, or if the action provides an advantage. What they mean by this is if an athlete, for example, in this case whereby the Kenyan athlete stepped on the inner lane, the other athlete, kama angekanyaga mara moja, angepewa disqualification, probably a warning or but alikanyaga, if you repeat the same infringement more than once, twice, it's a disqualification. The Kenyan athlete, if you check the video clearly, the guy stepped more than twice. If the rules, let's continue, it goes on to say that disqualification remains the penalty if an athlete fully steps inside the inner border and touches the line multiple times, gains a positional advantage, or impedes another competitor. So the key rules of one of the infringement is that on the inner border, that's the line or the curb, is permitted without penalty in most situations. So if you step once, probably you will not get disqualified. Repeated infringements, if you do it twice in the same event, if you do it twice, like for example in this relay event, he did it twice, stepped on the line more than 2 times, that is a result of disqualification direct. Hakuna story mingi. Disqualification occurs if an athlete steps fully inside the inner border of the lane. For example, angekanyaga the other lane, the other athlete in lane 4, definitely also, that's also a disqualification. And positional advantage or impediment by the infringement leads to disqualification. And also being forced by another person or object to step out of the lane is an exception to disqualification. For example, Oskumo. na the other athlete uingie lane nyingine, but you know, in relays maybe 4x4, or maybe when they're handling the stick at the start position, when the first if the first takeover comes in, then hands over the stick, hapo unaweza sukumwa, you go to the other lane, or rather go outside the track. If you're pushed, that's not a disqualification. So yes, that's the reason why the Kenya team was disqualified. And if you check the video, let's check the video. We can see, there you go. He stepped on, there you go. 1, then 2, 3, 4. Literally, that guy was on top of the line. And if you check the other athletes, man, this is so insane, bro. If you check the other athletes, everyone else is inside the lanes. So running next to a line does not make you faster. Rather than running close to a curve does not make you faster. According to research, running on a curve makes you slower because the centripetal force required to turn and the energy spent balancing and compensating for difference in leg length reduce the power available for propulsion. And here's why curves make you, or rather slow you down. For example, we have the centripetal force. To run a curve, for example, your body needs centripetal force to keep your body from flying off the curve. And this force requires energy to generate, which could otherwise used for forward motion. And balance and compensation, for example, running a curve requires more balance and effort to lean into the turn. Your outer leg travels farther and harder than your inner leg. You may not notice because you are in motion at that particular moment, and which also requires more energy and can strain your muscles, for example, the tendons. And you see, most athletes, for example, sprinters usually get injuries while they're running the curves. Unlike, well, even straight, they also do get injuries, but majority of sprinters I know do get injuries during training while running the curve, or also during competitions. Distance penalty in a race on a curved track. Running to the right of the center line means a greater distance than running on a straight line. Even staying close to the inside lane can add nearly a meter of distance per curve, adding up over a lap and making the overall distance longer. So yeah, there you have it. Running next to a curve does not make you faster, rather it makes you even slower, and also it even adds a longer distance to your curve, or rather to your distance. It even adds you a longer distance, making you use a lot of effort. But despite Kenya being disqualified in the 4x4 mixed relays, they went on to win all the distance races in the females, rather in the women's events. For example, to begin with the 800 meters, we had a new world champion by the name Lilian Odira. Lilian Odira has never won an international medal. This was her first world title, or rather, a first world title and first world global medal. She ran a championship record of 1:54.62 seconds. That was very fast. Congratulations, Lilian Odira. Moving on to the 1500 meters, of course, we have the world record holder, you know, for 1500 meters. That's Faith Kipyegon. Kama kawaida alifanya ile kitu, you know, she won in a time of 3:52.15. And Faith Kipyegon also went on to run the 5000 meters, whereby she won a silver medal. Then the 3000 meters, we had the 21-year-old, you know, Faith Cherotich, ran a championship record in a time of 8:51.59. Cherotich is only 21 years old, so she's definitely will be there to dominate that event in the future to come. 5000 meters and 10,000 meters was the one and only Beatrice Chebet. Beatrice Chebet is not just world champion in the 5,000 and 10,000. She was also the Olympic champion in the 5,000 and 10,000, respectively. She ran a time of 14:54 in the 5,000 and a time of 30:37 in the 10,000 meters. The marathon women, we had Peres Chepchirchir, who was trailing behind the Ethiopian until the last 100 meters, when she decided to sprint it all out to victory in a time of 2:24.43. Yani, she was literally behind Asifa, you know, Asifa of Ethiopia. She was just trailing behind Asifa of Ethiopia. I did not watch the marathon. I just watched towards the end of the finish, and basically it looks like she was trailing behind Asifa, and Eventually, the last 100 meters, Chepchirchir seemed like she was once a sprinter because her muscles, in a tonga muscle memory, her muscles just remembered it is the 100 meters. You need to sprint. The time is now. Line iko pale Vumbele. Iko nene. Chepchirchir alitoka teke. Alitoka mbio. That's how we won gold in the marathon. So the women, 800, 1500, 3000, 5000, 10,000, and definitely the marathon women. World Championship gold medal zote came to my country, Kenya. Congratulations to the ladies. Copy my coffee, the ladies, my coffee, the ladies, my coffee, the ladies. Iko nini? All right, moving on. We saw the 400 meters world record holder, or rather, by the name Sydney McLaughlin. She did not run the 400 hurdles women, but she decided to rather change. I think last year, the Paris Olympic Games, and also this year she did the 400 flat, and damn, she did the impossible. She ran under 48 seconds. And it was the first time ever in the history of the sport, two athletes, two females running under 48. They both ran 47 seconds in a single event. That feat has never been done, ever, ever, ever. And the US athlete broke the 42-year-old championship record. That's the second fastest 400 meter of all time of the World Athletics Championships. Marilady Pauline of Dominican Republic came in second in a time of 47.98 seconds. All right, so moving on to Jamaica. Jamaica. Jamaicans are very good, and we all know when you talk of Jamaica, definitely think of Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, Shelly Ann Fraser, come on, Seville, Thompson. I mean, the list is endless. Marlene Oti, back in the day, najua Marlene Oti, Gen Z atajua Marlene Oti ni nani. When you talk of the long distance or the middle distance, definitely that's not for Jamaica. But the impossible also happened. And that's why you are here. Track and Field by Chico. We are giving you news reviews for the things you missed. We have this guy by the name Navaski Anderson. Navaski Anderson cemented his name in the history books of the world athletics, not only by becoming the first Jamaican man to make the finals at this level, but by breaking Jamaican national record with a time of 1:42.76 seconds, and also finished seventh in the finals of the 800 meters, thus showing us that he belongs to that stage of the best of the best. And we all know the 800 meters who won, definitely Kenya, of course. Kenya won. Wanyoni won the 800 meters. The men's 3000 steeplechase, we had Godi Beamish. You know what happened with Godi Beamish of New Zealand in the 3000 steeplechase during the heat of the 3000? While running, a lot happened. There's a lot of pushing and shoving and whatnot while jumping over the steeplechase. Whatever happened, and the guy fell down. So he was jumped upon, stepped on with spikes. The guy woke up and still managed to catch up with the leading pack and also made the team to the finals. And guess what? Guess what? Guess who won that event? Yes, Godi Beamish won the 3000 meter steeplechase. So, like they say, it doesn't matter how you fall down, but how you wake up from the fall. It doesn't matter how you fall down, but how you wake up from that fall. Moving on to the women 100 meters, definitely we had Melissa Jefferson. Melissa Jefferson wooden embarked on a historical journey as she entered the 2025 season, the World Athletics Outdoor Championships in Japan, almost a week after winning gold in the 100-meter dash, whereby she broke the championship record in the 100 meters, rather thus becoming the fastest American woman alive. And also, Melissa Jefferson Wooden stormed to another victory also in the 200 meters. And by doing so, thus, it makes her become the first American woman to win a double gold. I mean, not even Marion Jones, Carmelita Jetta, none of those athletes had won a double. Melissa Jefferson is the first to win a double, and McCoffey, Melissa Jefferson, that is commendable. We hope to see you in the 2020 Olympic Games. you find it the same, bro. We had Shakari Richardson also was there, but she did not get medals in the individual events. So moving on to the men's 100, the men's 100 was for anyone. Anyone was to win the 100 meters in the finals. Well, Tebogo didn't make the finals, so that was a shocker, rather, because he had a false start. The finals was very, very fast, and anyone was capable of winning the finals. Omanyala also did not make the finals. He had a hip injury 2 months before the World Championship Games. And as usual, Noah Lyles' mind is always prepared, but his body sometimes, in the 100 meters can decide to let him down. He's usually slow, then in the end is fast, but it's 100 meters, anything can happen. Oblique Seville was not mentally fit during the semis, but the finals, you saw what happened. But the following day came in the moment, came in the hour. And remember, Jamaica has won 6 times, and the United States has won 15 times. So definitely, when it comes to the 100 meters, you can say Americans are the kings, the giants, then the Jamaicans, then the rest of the world. But Oblique Seville was not gonna let this go away, because he won his first global individual medal in a time of 9.77 seconds, thus joining the 9.77 club. And also becoming one of the top 10 fastest ever in the 100 meters. Kishane Thompson was second in a time of 9.8, while Noah Lyles came in third. The victory was a historic achievement for Jamaica, securing their return to the top of the men's sprinting. Back in the day, used to be Usain Bolt, then Johan Blake. But after Usain Bolt left, Johan Blake had an injury, then Jamaica started going down. People like Ashmead were not very, very active in the 100. They were more like in the 200. Then Warren Ware left athletics. Then, Jamaica just started going down. Asafa Powell retired. But then Kishane Thompson came in. Then we have Blake Seville. Then we have Blake, Akeem Blake. These are some of the new Jamaicans, on the spot. Fort also was a good athlete. I think also he retired. But in the 200 meters, Lyles did not disappoint, as he ran a whooping 19.5. Was it 19.51 in the semi? And indicating that he was ready to run the finals, rather. Even him said that it is time to turn up, because he was shocked to run a 19.54 or rather 19.51 in the semis. In the finals, Lyles won in a time of 19.52, and Kung Fu Kenny of the United States came in second, time of 19.58. Then Brian Lavelle of Jamaica came in third in a time of 19.64. Then the African schoolboy, or the African village boy, Tebogo, Lesile Tebogo, came in fourth with a time of 19.65. And for Tebogo, that was the season's best. Speaking of Tebogo, personally, I felt like there was something disturbing Tebogo, or that was not the Tebogo we know. Definitely, because in the 100 meters, Tebogo has never done a false start, but, well, this is the first time, so he did not even get to the finals. Then we have the 200 meters, Tebogo becoming number 4. And just last year, it's exactly 1 year, when they were in Paris, Tebogo was the winner in the 200 meters, and this year becoming number 4 with a time of 19.65. So to me, I felt something was off. But according to Tebogo's interview, just listen to what he had to say.
I'm looking at the start and goals that we've been through this whole season, from China till the last Diamond League, and just being able to make it into the final was a big thing for us. Looking at the days, months, weeks of training that we missed out, and just running a new season best, it meant there's still more from me that could have came out, but the lack of training has just really hindered us from being in the medal positions. For me, the race plan was try and combine the 2 races, knowing that I'm not 100% fit because of the missed trainings and all that. But for me, it was a great curve, great home straight, and I was just summed up as a great race for me. From the start of this season, we had to sit down with the coach, with the team, and talk about how we had a great performance from Paris, and try and drop everything down and just make this our recovery season. not push too much from training, not do anything that could make the body tight, because we still have a long way to go. You cannot do 2 seasons continuously trying to be there on the peak. You have to drop at least 2 seasons and then pick it up again for the Olympics. So I believe it went well for us making into the final. The start and goals that we had hinders did its part, but I believe it has been just a great season for us with this recovery season for us.
Well, yeah, you had that right from the man himself. He said that after the Olympics, these 2 seasons more like a warm down. Then next 2 seasons, after these 2 seasons, that will be 2027, 2028. That's when they pick up again. So probably by 2028 Olympic Games, that's when we will see Tebogo, or 2027 going to 2028. That's when we'll see Tebogo probably breaking records and whatnot. Moving on, Cole Hooker, who won the 1500 meters last year at the Olympic Games this year, unfortunately was disqualified because he was pushing other athletes during the same race to qualify for the finals. And according to the regulations of World Athletics, he was disqualified because they say it was aggressively pushing fellow athletes. Well, I wouldn't say it was aggressive, because if you find that aggressive, what about this? What would you say about this? This is Josephat Machuka. This is World Under Championships, or rather World Under 20 Championships way back in 1992. And he punched Gebre Selassie, the Ethiopian. And you can see Gebre Selassie won. And Machuka was disqualified. This was the 10,000 meters event. He was disqualified later for punching another athlete. That is aggressive, but pushing other athletes to be able to, because everyone is running close and everyone wants to win, but it is what it is. Rules are rules, and they have to be followed. Well, moving on, the 400 meters, definitely the 400 meters flat was an event not to miss out on. Botswana won their first 400 meters World Championship global title ever by a boy by the name Colin Kebinang-Chipre. Colin Kebinang-Chipre ran a staggering time of 43.53 seconds. He said, this is my first title and it feels crazy. After the semi-final, I really started to believe in myself. I told myself to go fast and do better than in the semi-final. The medal was just a bonus. There you have it. He was not running to win. He was just running to have fun, and the medal was just a bonus. So after the semi-finals, aliona, hey, hapa kumbe tunaweza ibeba, and it is what it is. You believe in yourself. There you have it. There's a gold. Botswana, Africa. The relays, the 4x100 meters relays, definitely we saw Team USA winning gold, and they were anchored by Team Sha'Carri Richardson, was not, or rather did not have any medals in the 100 and the 200 meters, but in the 4x100 meters, alienda home na gold. Also the men, we saw that the United States, the starter was none other than Christian Coleman, who went home without a medal in the 100 and 200. Rather, he did not make a team even in the 100 and 200 meters, but he went home with the gold in the 4x100 meters. And speaking of the 4x100 meters women, the second runners-up was none other than Team Jamaica. We saw Shelly-Ann Fraser, handing over this baton to the twin sisters, that's Tia and Tina. And also Shelly-Ann Fraser, apparently, rumor has it, I still don't believe, but she said she's retiring from major athletic competitions. But still, I believe we will be seeing her in small coming competitions. You cannot just retire and leave competition like that. So I don't think we'll be seeing her in the next World Championship Games or Olympic Games, but definitely in the next small meets, we will be seeing her. And speaking of, Shelly-Ann Fraser has 26 global medals. Congratulations, Shelly. Wapi makofi ya Shelly-Ann Fraser. Shelly-Ann Fraser, come on, girl. She is a mother. She is a mentor. She is the fastest mother alive. She has 26 global medals. Come on, man. She has done it all, man. She has done it all, bro. Come on, girl. All right, moving on. Speaking of the medals, what about records? We had only one record at the World Championship Games Tokyo 2025. And you know who that is? None other than Mondo Duplantis. Yes, Mondo Duplantis alone has broken the pole vault record at total times of 14 times. Any 14 times. And 14 times he's been breaking it. Right now, the current record he broke at the World Championship Games was 6.30 meters. So 6.30 coming down, he started breaking it at 6.16. And every other time just adds 1 centimeter into it, 6.18, 6.19, until right now it's 6.30 meters. And remember, at the World Championship Games, if you break a record, you take home $10,000. So Duplantis took home $10,000 plus bonuses and competition rewards. So I'm selling the home akiwa mdosiaje. And at this point, the pole vault name, I think, should just be changed from being called pole vault to Mondo Duplantis. Yeah. Ile event inaitwaje Mondo Duplantis. So it said, we have 100 meters, 200 meters, long jump, and then Mondo Duplantis. Ama namna gani? All right, the men's 4x100 meters definitely was won by the United States. Team Jamaica, unfortunately, they did not make to the finals. 4x1 is not for anyone. The stick did not reach to Thompson, or rather, it fell. The athlete, I don't know his name, is new to the game, brought the stick from Seville, then Akeem, then that athlete, then to Thompson. Apparently, the stick did not get to the finish line. South Africa, we saw also what happened. The Italians, for example, the former Olympic champion Marcel Jacobs, we saw what happened during takeoff. He hit, or rather, he was hit by the South African. I don't know which was which. People are saying that he was way more on the outer lane, thus blocking the South African. People are saying the South African was more towards the line, but it is what it is. From this angle of this video, you cannot see clearly, but you can see definitely the South African, while he was running, he hit Marcel Jacobs. Then Italy did not make it to the finals. South Africa, they were given a second chance, so a solo rerun. So South African runs a shot of 0.3 seconds. Damn, that was 0.3 seconds. And that's also South Africa did not qualify for the finals of the 4x1. Remember, South Africa last year, the Olympic Games, they were second, they won silver. This time, they didn't make it to the finals. Kenya team also, it's unfortunate. We had Omanyala who had an injury, so Omanyala also did not take part in the release. We had other team members, Marco Tieno, we had Stephen Onyango, Babu, and also Mweresa. That was the team that took part in the release. And I will do a review of the 4x1. So we watch, we see, we review and see why they did not make it to the finals. But definitely Americans won with a time of 37.29. And also, that's the time they ran, the 37.29, makes them the fourth fastest time ever ran in the 4x100 meters. Congratulations, United States. You deserve, you can run faster than that, So hakuna makofi yenu, lakini you guys can run faster than 37. America should be running 36, not 37. Jamaica has 36. So definitely America, man. You guys also, you need to step up, bro. 37 to achieve CC, we're still coming up, we're still developing, but it is what it is. In the 4x400 meters men, it was like a movie out of Hollywood. Definitely 3 teams to watch out for: Team Botswana, Team United States, and definitely Team South Africa. Team Botswana, we all know that in the 400-meter finals, they had 3 members in the 400 meters finals, bro. The heavy rains, there was a heavy downpour, and this did not stop the athletes from delivering a spectacular show, definitely. Kebina Chippy anchored for Team Botswana to a victory in a time of 2:26, managing to catch Rai Benjamin at the tape and making Botswana the world champions. And South Africans also were catching up with the Americans, because the time South Africa had at the time the Americans had was Team Botswana won in a time of 2:57.76 seconds, and the second runners up were United States also, but they tied also with South Africa. They had a time of 2:57.83. But the Americans were given second, and the South Africans were given third position. And also, while Leslie Tebogo had splitted a time of 44.05, I think Tebogo was the third fastest splitter in the relays. Then we had Nene of South Africa had a time of 43. 43.93 seconds in the 400. And definitely the fastest split was none other than the world record holder, the current world record holder, Van Niekerk, in a time of 43.2. Bro, Markovia Van Niekerk. Van Niekerk ran a time of 43.26 under the brutal rainy conditions, meaning that he was 0.6 seconds faster than anyone else. He was running under the flooded lane 1. As you can see clearly, lane 1 was really flooded. He ran a 43.26 seconds in lane 1. I mean, without the rains, I believe that Van Niekerk could have easily ran a 42 seconds, and in the 4x4 split, this will have made him one of the two sprinters ever to run 42 seconds. The other one was none other than Michael Johnson, who did it way back in the 90s, 1993. He ran a time of 42.94 seconds. So that really shows you that was actually a sign from Van Niekerk that he's back from his injury, and he's really ready to take on the world and the records, of course. P.S. In these games, we've learned a lot. We've learned that you can go home without a medal from the individual race, but you can still go home with a gold medal from the combined event. That's the release. Like what happened with Christian Coleman and Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri Richardson and Christian Coleman, couple goals. Ikonene, they did not have any individual medals, but they had gold medals. Then you can also break as many records as you want, well, as portrayed by Mondo Duplantis. Mondo Duplantis has broken his record 14 times. I think at this time is the only athlete who's done it more than 14 times. That's a Guinness Book of World Records, and I believe he's going to break it also next year. Stay tuned. Something else I also learned, number 3, is that how you start a race does not really determine how you're going to finish it. As with portrayed with this guy from New Zealand, 3,000 meters, Godi Beamish. He was jumped over, stepped on, but still the finals, who won? Definitely Godi Beamish won the event. And also like Tebogo of Botswana. Tebogo had a false start in the 100, in the 200 came in 4th, but still went home with the gold in the 400, the first gold. And that means once it's here to stay. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video has been long, but it is what it is. We have to, dive into some of the things that you missed and whatnot. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, yes, also please give me a thumbs up. It takes a lot to make these videos. Subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the next video. Unaweza share video pia iko nini. The more you like the video, the more you comment. YouTube also enables us to be recognized, and also that's how we grow. Support a brother so that we grow together, and it is what it is. Kama kawaida, see you in the next video. It is your boy Chico. Adios.